Number 10, Mustang McLaren M81. Long before McLaren partnered with Mercedes to create the iconic McLaren Mercedes SLR, McLaren partnered with Ford in 1980 to create a Mustang that would revitalize the model line after the disappointing Mustang II of the 1970s. With only 249 made, this Mustang was powered by a hand-built McLaren turbo engine that made a 175 horsepower. Number 9, Torino Talladega. Named after the famous Talladega Speedway, this Ford was an improved, more aerodynamic version of the Torino and Fairlane Cobra made to compete in NASCAR racing. Accomplishing what it set out to do by winning 29 races between 1969 and 1970, this champion race car was later made available to the public with a limited run production of 500 units. Number 8, Ford Fairlane 500R Code. One of the rarest Fords because of the minuscule 57-unit production, the Fairlane 500R was a product of the arms race between car manufacturers to build the most powerful and fastest muscle cars of that period. Equipped with a V8 engine that produced a then huge 425 horsepower, this car was among the speed kings of the 60s. Number 7, GT40 Mk3. A unique version of the mighty GT40 is its road-going cousin, the Mark III. A truly rare car with only 7 examples built, this street derivative had a detuned 4.7-liter engine that made a still powerful 306 horsepower. In a twist of marketing irony, this car was not as popular as Ford hoped, as its more formal and road-use look caused potential buyers to opt for the original Mk1 in its racing livery instead. Number 6, 1974 Ford Capri RS 3100. A popular model in the Ford Fastback and Coupe range, the Ford Capri was launched in 1968 to a responsive market. Capitalizing on this success, Ford in less than 5 years followed up with similar formula with the release of its successor in 1974. In 1973, production of the Capri ended in Australia. This then necessitated 50 units being imported by Ford Australia, making the Capri RS 3100 a rare Ford to find in the market. Number 5, Ford Thunderbird Bond Edition. Strange as James Bond never drove this Thunderbird in the movie, Ford produced a James Bond edition of the Thunderbird to commemorate its presence in the movie Die Another Day. Priced at $43,000 when it was released, this pricey Ford came in a coral red special edition paint scheme that took inspiration from the bikini that secondary character Jinx wore in the film. Number 4, Ford GT40 Prototype. As the first Ford car to be called the Ford GT, this prototype, only 2 were made, helped pave the way for its successor, the legendary Ford GT40, in its path to Le Mans domination. Born from the now infamous Ferrari snub of Ford's attempt to purchase them, Ford then partnered with Lola Cars to develop their own race car that resulted in this amazing prototype that, despite being developed in short order, managed to perform to the expectation it was set to by Henry Ford II himself. Number 3, Ford RS 200. Made by Ford to compete in the competitive world of Group B rally racing, the Ford RS 200 was a small and powerful mid-engine sports car that had 2 distinct versions: a street-legal car with 250 horsepower and a racing version producing 450 horsepower. Perhaps too powerful for its own good, the rally governing body took note of the several accidents in Group B that the RS 200 and other cars were involved in, and soon abolished this tier, rendering this rare 200 unit only Ford obsolete. Number 2, Ford XC Cobra. With a production run of just 400 units, this non-Mustang Ford, which is also a legendary muscle car, is called the Falcon XC Cobra, a performance car built by Ford Australia that came with a 5.0-liter V8 engine. As with Ford tradition, this muscle car was available in the Ford Racing White with the 2 center blue stripes livery. Number 1, Ford GTX-1. special edition version of the already astounding Ford GT, the Ford GTX-1 Roadster had only 100 units made. First unveiled to the public in the 2005 SEMA show, the GTX took inspiration from the original open-top Ford GT. With the option to remove its targa top, this GT transformed into a sleek roadster that was the reason for the strong demand it received.